Welcome to Flash CS6 Tutorial 32 Sequence Game. For this tutorial, you'll have to know how to use the basic drawing tools in Flash, like the pencil tool, the rectangle tool, the oval tool. And if you're not familiar with these, you can go to my YouTube channel, and there's a playlist. It's called Flash from Scratch. And in there's 34 videos that take you from opening up an FLA to drawing using those tools. So we're going to start by opening a new FLA. I'm going to select Action Script 3, keeping 550 on my width, 400 for my height, and my white background. Clicking OK. I now want to make 5 layers. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on each of these layers I'm going to draw an item to complete a scene, a simple scene. And I'll show you how I went about that. I called this first layer Clouds, and I selected frame 1, and I drew a couple of clouds in the sky. All I used was my pencil tool here to draw the outline, and I used my fill bucket to fill it with the gray. Then on the next layer I called Base 2. If I look at that, there it is, just a base, a triangle with the pointy end made flat. Then in this layer I have something called a propeller. You can see this is going to be a windmill. And then I put the circle in the middle of the propeller on that layer. And finally on this layer I put a door. So they're layered to build this little scene. So now I'm just going to unlock the clouds layer for a minute, and I'm going to pick up my selection tool and highlight one of the clouds. They're together like that. And if I look in here in the properties panel, I'll see that that cloud is called piece1_MC. And it's a movie clip. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Pick up my pencil tool. I want a dark color for my stroke, that's the outside. And for my fill, I want a grayish color right here. And what I did was I picked up my pencil tool, and in one stroke, don't lift your pen up, and if you do, you're going to have to cross over. Make sure these cross over like that in some manner, and then pick up your fill bucket, and you should be able to fill that. Then I picked up my selection tool, I highlighted it like this. I went up here to modify, convert it to a symbol, and I selected movie clip here from this drop down layer, and I gave it an instance name. I typed something in here, and when I typed in here as the instance name, I copied that instance name, and that's what I pasted in here. So I opened it here and I pasted that instance name in here. And that first one was called Piece 1. So I don't need this, I'm deleting that. So I'll show you. On layer 1, I have this movie clip called Piece1_MC. On this layer, if I highlight it, I have Piece 2, that's the base. If I look at this one, that's going to be Piece 3. Oops, I didn't select it. See, it says frame, not movie clip. Movie clip, Piece 3. Naturally, this one's going to be Piece 4. It's that little circle. And finally, Piece 5, which is the door. Oops, I didn't highlight it right. And there's Piece 5. And I also, in my numbering of my layers here, called them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's what piece number they are. Okay, now we want to lock all the layers. Click here. Select any of the layers, insert a layer, and drag that layer to the bottom. Click on it and drag it down to the bottom, and call this buttons. B-U-T-T-O-N-S, buttons. Pick up your rectangle tool, right here, if you're seeing an oval or a circle, click this little corner and you'll get this drop-down menu and select rectangle. Unless you want to make an oval button, hold the shift down, make a little button. There it is. Click on this fill and get a different color. I'm going to pick a pinkish color. Pick up my fill bucket, come over here and click the center of it, and I fill that in. I'm going to also now come here and pick up this thing called a text tool. Click on it. Open the properties. Make sure classic text is selected here from this drop-down menu. Make sure static text is selected here from this drop-down menu. I like Times New Roman myself, but you can put any one you want. Times New Roman. I like it to be bold. And I want to make it about 15 points each. There's 15. Okay. And I want it to be black. Now, go back here. And right up here out of the way, make a little square and type in number 1. Pick up your selection tool, click on that, and drag it and put it on top of there. Now, highlight this whole thing, open the properties panel again, and you see how the width and height here, and you see this chain, its chain's unlocked. I want it to lock like that, and I want them both to be about 25, so 25, and as soon as I put enter, because the chain is locked, both of them will change, and I still have my square. Select it, go up to here, modify, convert it to a symbol. This time make sure button is selected, and call this one pink, P-I-N-K, because the color is pink. 1 is the number I have in it, underscore BTN. Copy that, and open the properties panel. There's that button pink, and paste that in for an instance name. Okay. Now, I'm going to make the rest of my buttons, and then I'll get back to you and show you what that's about. Okay. I used that same format, and I made 5 buttons. I have this one, which I called pink 1 underscore BTN, and it's pink and has a 1 in it. I called this one blue 2, a button. I called this one red 3 for obvious reasons. You got it. 4 yellow and 5 green. Now notice I spelled green, G-R-E-N, 5. And yellow, I spelled Y-E-L. Red is R-E-D. I used the whole red. Blue, I used B-L-U-E. And pink, I used the full pink. So lock that. Select the top layer. Insert a layer. Call it AS as in action script. Select frame 1. Open the actions panel. And we're going to do a whole lot of typing. Type, 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 type. And get rid of some stuff here that we don't need. And I'll get it in, and then we'll, as we go, do some explaining to you. Okay. We're going to start off by making something called a variable. A variable is a place where we're putting information. And in our case, the variable, we're going to call it count, C-O-U-N-T. And it's going to be equal to 1, followed by a semicolon. This is going to allow us to keep track of what number has been pressed. So here's my 5 piece movie clips. Piece 1 underscore MC, period, visible, V-I-S-I-B-L-E, small v, that turns blue, equals false, F-A-L-S-E, turns blue, and then a semicolon. Copy that, paste it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and change the 1 to a 2, then to a 3, then to a 4, then to a 5. So when we first start this, run this program, none of these pieces will be seen. Okay, this is going to be controlling the pink button, number 1. So pink 1 underscore BTN. That's the button. Period. Add event listener, small a, capital E, capital L. That turns blue. Open bracket. It's a mouse event, capital M, capital E. That turns blue. Period. Click is all capital letters, uppercase, C-L-I-C-K, comma, and I'm calling it pink1. That's the name I'm giving to this function. Close bracket, semicolon, function, F-U-N-C-T-I-O-N, copy pink1 and paste it in here. Open bracket, event, small e, V-E-N-T, turns blue, colon, copy mouse event, paste it in. Close bracket, colon void. There's the open curly bracket for this function, and as you start to type this stuff in here, you'll get this closed curly bracket come in. If not, you're going to have to put it in. We're going to say if, open bracket, count, that's that variable we made, equals 1, close bracket. That's testing to see if it's 1, and because we started it off as 1, when we run our program, this will be true. So if we press the pink button and we're just starting, the count will be 1, so this is true. Here's the open curly bracket for this if, and here's the closed curly bracket for this if. So now we got 2 closed curly brackets down here. Open curly bracket here says trace, open bracket, and in quotation mark, 1, O-N-E, pressed, close quotations, close bracket, semicolon, and we're going to do 2 things. That count variable, C-O-U-N-T, equals count itself plus 1, semicolon. So we're going to add 1 to count. And at the same time, besides tracing it, what's called tracing it here, we're going to increment that count, and that movie clip, piece 1, so you can go up here and copy this piece 1 movie clip, or you can type it in, period, visible, V-I-S-I-B-L-E, equals true, T-R-U-E, visible and true turn blue, semicolon, and there's a closed curly bracket. Now, I'm really not sure that I need all them. We'll try it. I'm up here, test movie, test, and 3 things are supposed to happen. Supposed to trace, 1 is pressed, which we'll see. I'm going to make count 2, because it already is 1 and I added 1, and we're going to make one of those pieces visible, and there it is. There's the clouds, and it says pressed 1. I just want to see something, because I don't think I need this, and I don't think I need this. So let's try that. Control, test movie, test. Ah, good. Don't need it. All right, so that works for piece number 1. So from here to here, copy that. Copy it, click here, put a couple enters, and paste it in. Changed the words pink 1 to blue 2, and we spelt it B-L-U-E. Change this to blue 2. Change this to blue 2. Change it to count 2. This can stay the same. This time we're going to trace, change 1 to 2 here, and change this piece 1 to piece 2. And we said we didn't need this. We didn't need this, which you don't have because you copied it properly. So now 2 pieces should work. Let's test that. It's good to test them as you go instead of waiting. See, if I press this, nothing happens. It can only work with this one. There's 1, there's 2. Copy that, paste it in. This has to be red 3 button now. This got to be red 3. This has to be red 3. This must be 3. This can stay the same. This should be the word 3, and this should be piece 3. And again, we don't need those, which you don't have because you never put them in or we took them out. All right, let's see if that works. can't click anything, nothing happens. If I click 1, it comes there, and if I click 2, that comes there, and 3, that comes there. So now I'm going to do the rest of them, which I think you can do, and then I will get back to you. I have them all done now, so I want to test it out. Nothing happens, but if I click here, that will appear. Nothing happens. If I click here, that'll appear. Then that one, then that one, then that one. So now, that wouldn't be much of a challenge, but that's the way you could start it. I would think that it would be better if you lock all the layers, unlock the buttons layer, and select these one at a time and move them around. Move this down here, move this one over here, here, just completely at random, and then the person that's learning their numbers has to click the right one in order. I think that's enough for this video. Hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learned.